Now, your late big brother Ron is a strong influence on you, and when he forms a trad jazz band, he encourages you to sing. Now, Jeff Cohen, you were Ron's best friend, and you booked his band for the local youth club.
That's right. Helen was about, just coming up for 13 at the time, and this particular weekend, instead of having records, I booked Ronnie's trad band. And what we did, we had a complete social, which is what we called dances at the time. And Ronnie, during the evening, said to me, "Can Helen sing?" And my reaction was something like, "Well, we're packed out, we can't lose anything, let us sing." And this little 13-year-old got up, and everybody stopped dancing. Everyone in the canteen just came in and stood there, quiet, listening to this little girl sing. And at the end, the ovation was just absolutely amazing. It was quite a fantastic thing to see.
Well, at 14, you were invited to make a demo tape of Birth of the Blues at what became the world-famous Abbey Road studios.
Yeah. And that, Helen, was the birth of your career as a singer.
All we had to do was find you the right song.
Songwriters and record producers John Schroeder and Mike Hawker.
And you too.
John, what happened?
Well, Maurice Berman phoned me and asked me to check out some of his pupils with a particular mention to one. And so I did that. And quite frankly, Helen, when I first saw you, I also was gobsmacked. Had tremendous confidence in such a wonderfully identifiable voice that I then arranged for an audition for you at Abbey Road Studios.
Yeah, it wasn't famous in those days, Abbey Road. Just plain EMI Studios.
Well, you've been there, and you've walked across that little crossing.
Yes, I have.
And we were in there, I would think, not more than about 15 minutes, because you sailed through that just like that. And I took the result back to Norrie Paramore, and I didn't tell him anything about it. I just put the tape or disc on the turntable and waited. And he heard it, and there was an awful silence. And I thought, my God, I've made a mistake. Then he said, "He is good, isn't he? When can I see him?"
Not the only one.
There we go.
Yet again.
So, Mike, where did you come in?
Well, John and I had started writing songs together. John wrote the melodies, and I wrote the lyrics. And with Helen, we needed to find a song that would be commercial, but would work with a girl of 14. And I thought back into my own teenage years and came up with the idea of Don't Treat Me Like a Child, which turned out to be a fairly happy inspiration. Yeah. Since then, we've been fortunate to go on and write many more songs for Helen. I think probably the biggest were You Don't Know, which is your first #1, right. And the song that gave us an Ivor Novello Award, Walking Back to Happiness.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Well,
and I'm very thankful to those
Thank you.
songs.
So
I really am. These guys wrote some
Thank you
great
both.
songs.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you. You knew all this at the Cafe Royal.
Well, now, you collect a silver disc in 1961 for Don't Treat Me Like a Child, and you follow it up with a #1 hit, You Don't Know. It, too, goes silver and sells more than 40,000 copies in a single day. You were still just 14 and top of the pops. Now, how was this all affecting your life, Helen?
I think the kids at school, the other girls at school, they weren't that impressed with the fact that I was, having hit records, but they knew that I knew Cliff Richard, you see. So this stood me in very good stead with them.
Right. Well, it's your third record that really establishes you, and we have video pictures of the actual recording session under the supervision of the late Norrie Paramore.
Walking back to happiness, oh, yeah. Said goodbye to loneliness, oh, yeah. I never knew I missed you, now I know what I must do. Walking back to happiness, I shared with you. I'm making up for things I said, oh, yeah. And mistakes to which they led, oh, yeah. I shouldn't have gone away, so I'm coming back today. Walking back to happiness, I threw away.
Such a modern studio.
Well, that went to #1 just a few weeks after your 15th birthday, and that song has been very good for you, but it wouldn't have been your choice for the A-side.
Well, yeah, I guess there was Norrie. Norrie wrote a song called Kiss and Run, which was, it actually ended up on the B-side, and I hate to say it, at that time I had a preference for that song. But it just shows you how good a judge I am, doesn't it?
Well, as one of the youngest stars in the business, you topped the bill on Sunday night at the London Palladium, and the next morning you're back at your desk at Clapton Park Comprehensive. And I have to tell you that we have an expert witness on how all this was affecting your schoolwork.
Helen Shapiro, will you please stop talking? I'm here to report on you.
Well, you said she was your favourite teacher. You knew her as Miss Hitchman, Joyce Mumby.
My cousin Susan will remember Miss Hitchman. We went to the same school.
Yes. And you taught dance and drama.
And RE as well. But Helen, I have something rather special here for you that I don't think you've seen for over 30 years. And I wrote in this, it's your report book, usually well behaved, but occasionally has to be corrected for silly behaviour and chattering. But of course, that was because of your lovely outgoing personality. And Helen was elected as form captain, netball captain.
I was so good.
But the thing that I admired was the way that you coped with all the fame and still got on with your schoolwork.
Well, I was just numb, I think.
Yeah, God bless you.
And you
That's
too.
for
Oh,
you.
can I? Thank you very much, Joyce.
Thank you, Joyce.
Bless you.
Well, you become completely engulfed by your new career, and at Christmas 1961, you leave school to sing full-time.
I'm very glad I've left school, although, of course, I miss being with my friends and girls of my own age, but on the whole, I'm pleased about it.
Ever since the days when your grandmother used to take you to see Doris Day films, you've always wanted to act on screen, and you get your chance in 1962 in a film directed by Richard Lester called It's Trad Dad.